Of activity regarding the National Youth Development Agency, or NYDA, suspended CEO Stephen Ngubeni followed the ruling by the Johannesburg High Court, which dropped all charges against him and called for his immediate reinstatement. The current officers apparently would not let him into the premises. Later in the day, Nehawu issued a statement demanding that the NYDA finalize Ngubeni's disciplinary process promptly. So, where to from here? We've invited Stephen Ngubeni himself into studio to come and explain his point of view. Stephen, welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you very much, Leanne, and morning to your viewers at home.
Just paint a picture for us. What happened yesterday when you went to the NYDA offices?
Actually, I went to the NYDA offices day before yesterday, immediately after the court judgment. I arrived at the NYDA offices. I was welcomed by the staff of the NYDA, very much excited that I was back in the premises. I went ahead to discharge my responsibilities as directed by the court and in terms of my employment contract. A couple of hours later, the lawyer who was representing the NYDA came into the office with police claiming trespassing. I then had to show the police the court order, after which they then advised him that if he feels aggrieved, he must go ahead and open a case of trespassing against me in whatever stand and form that he made him fit. Where I am, I'm still waiting for that process to unfold. I'm not charged as yet in terms of trespassing. I'm a fully reinstated CEO of the NYDA. Yesterday, I went to an NYDA satellite branch in Durban in an attempt to reacquaint myself in the work of the NYDA. I even addressed staff. Nothing happened there. There was nothing dramatic. I spoke to the staff. I concluded my matter. And that's where I am.
All right. You brought with the Labour Court, you brought your papers with as well.
Yes.
Just showing the judgment in the matter between Stephen Ngubeni and the National Youth Development Agency. It's basically relieved you of everything and wanted you reinstated. Let's go back now to the beginning. What were the charges against you?
Well, in the main, the NYDA alleges that I had implemented a project before the board could approve an overall program. Two, that I have taken a financial decision that is beyond my authority. In both instances, I had contended that they were wrong. And I had a very strong case to put before them, including witnesses. And I must also indicate to our viewers that the case or the allegation on the table relates to the tenure of the previous board, who did not see anything wrong with the action that I took and the decisions that I took. But the new board, when they come in, they then deemed it fit to go back to the decisions of the old board and then bring these charges. That it's not about the decisions I've taken now in the term of the new board, but is in the term of the previous board, which was disbanded in 2012 in April. This decision was mainly about 1,350 young people who had received 7,000 rands grants from the NYDA for them to start up their businesses. And another 180 who then started up their businesses in the music production as well as DJing. Those ones, they received loans from the NYDA. In terms of the NYDA policy, once a loan application is less than 100,000, it belongs to a branch. And that's where I directed these young people to go and apply. There is glaring evidence that these young people went through the due processes and they were approved at the branches. So it goes with the grants of 7,000 rands. Once a grant is less than 50,000 rands, it belongs to a branch. It doesn't even come to me at the head office for the financial approval. It goes to a branch. I have got glaring evidence to show that these were approved at the branch level. But be that as it may, my innocence as I contend, the point of the matter here is that there has been a lot of attempt to get rid of me in the NYDA. You would remember that when this matter started, it was alleged that I'm involved in bribery and corruption, and later on it was no longer bribery and corruption, it was procedural matters that I have taken decisions and so on.
Where is this stemming from? Where do you think it's stemming from? Why do you think there are forces working against you being the NYDA CEO?
Well, I can confirm that there has been quite a lot of personal encounters which were not quite nice between myself and the chairperson in the course of me discharging the duties that are bestowed upon me in terms of the employment contract and the NYDA legislation, particularly when the board ceased to exist, the previous board. I was then supposed to write to them and ask them to bring back all the assets and the tools that they've been using to do the work of the NYDA. That includes your laptops, your cell phones, your credit cards, and so on. And he contended that he doesn't have to bring those things back since he is guaranteed that he is coming back in the new board. At that time, when he wrote to my executive manager, corporate services, that SMS, the interviews in Parliament for the board members had not even taken place. But he was already telling me that, no, look, I'm confident, I'm guaranteed I'm coming back. So the reason for you to ask these assets from me is unwarranted. And then he threatened further to say to my executive manager, corporate services, when I come back, understanding that you are working under the instructions of the CEO, I'll come back, deal with you, and deal with your boss, implying that he was going to deal with me. So it's the only glaring incident that I can relate this matter to, and that is how things have been unfolding.
All right, so at this point, you are waiting now to find out whether you can or cannot go back to work. So
no,
just
I'm
very
not waiting
quickly,
to find out.
You can go back according
Yes.
to the Labour Court, but you were thrown out of the office. So where are you going now? What are you going to do?
Actually, I was not thrown out of the office. I saw the media reports. The police, they came. They requested to see the court order. I went to the police station, showed them the court order, went back to the office, continued with my business. I've given the NYDA board a free legal advice. I said to them, on the 9th of October, they wrote to me declaring the disciplinary hearing dissolved.
Okay.
Now, what they need to do is to reinstate the disciplinary hearing and recharge me if they deem it fit. And I'm even ready to go and prove my innocence even at that particular forum.
Let's leave it there. Stephen Ngubeni, thank you for joining us. Thank you for talking to us this morning. Quite a controversial issue. We are running late on news. Apologies, but we just needed to get to the end of this interview. Let's take a break. Ayanda will